do.
There we go. It's real now. We're in the metaverse.
Welcome everyone to episode 5 of Meet with Cheese Metaverse interviews. Today I have a great guest for you. He's one of my favorite people in all of Web3. He's a guy that I met at NFT.NYC last year. He is the founder of BeYu Labs and the Nexus Voyagers NFT collection. He is the co-host of Nifty Nomads podcast, a master of high fives and high vibes, a day zero hero just like me from NFT.NYC, and he's arguably the most ambitious person in all of Web3. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Ben Yurcisin.
Oh my God, that is the best intro anyone's ever given me in my entire life. You are officially hired as my hype man. You're coming with me to every meeting for the rest of my life. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go, dude. That's what my shirt says. Hell
yes, yeah. That's amazing. I love that. And it was a poem. You're a poet and you don't even know it. It's incredible. First of all, thank you for having me on the show. It's amazing to be here. You know, I always love vibing with you and high-fiving with you. So let's make this thing happen, baby. I love it.
Hell yes, man. It's so good to have you on the show. And, you know, this is all about people and projects that you need to know about. So I want everyone to know about what you're doing, man. You have, last year we met at NFT.NYC on day 1, and it was the evening time. And the evening time turned into about 5 a.m. And then we all decided to go home at that point. So we knew that, I knew at that point, you know, we were going to be pals, and we have that same kind of energy and enthusiasm for Web3 and the potential it can lock for the betterment of humanity. And then we hung out all day on Tuesday as well at Custom House, and we grabbed food, and it was
That's
really
where the high five and high vibe was born, right?
That is where it was born, man, at Custom House during NFT.NYC 21.
Classic. It's a classic. That's in the history books.
Hell yeah, man. So again, thank you for taking the time to be on my show. I know you got a busy weekend coming up. You just hosted an event last night as well. Tell us a little bit about that event. Are you feeling all right? You a little hungover or what?
It's 3:15 p.m. right now, so I've got my cups of coffee. I had a sandwich. I'm vibing, but this day was a little rough to kick off because you know what? At these events, we're always having fun, and that's kind of the whole MO of these things. And it's crazy because you bring up that we met for the first time in NFT.NYC back in November, and you know, at that point we were just kind of roaming around, just figuring out what we're doing, what our place is in this space. And now we're out here hosting events, doing awesome shit, bringing people together. So, I mean, last night was awesome. We're starting this new event series, collaborative with a couple other amazing communities. It's called Web3 Wednesdays. And we're doing it every other Wednesday in New York City just to bring people together. We have a stage and, you know, let people pitch their project, ask kind of what they want from the community, what they could gain from everyone, and just make a really fun environment for everyone to come together and collaborate. Because just real quick, like with BeYu Labs, our whole goal is to empower Web3 entrepreneurs and creators in the space and just facilitate connection and build this really dope network between people who have different skill sets, different creative visions and ideas, and help make it possible for them to pool the resources, come together, and bring their visions to life. So we're kind of doing that a lot with these in-person events. And last night was a blast. I didn't know that after our whole like pitch thing, there was going to be live music and like freestyle rapping and shit. It was just a really cool night. It's a Sour Mouse in Lower East Side, New York City. It was awesome. I ended up there later than I had anticipated. That kind of is how it goes with us in these events, but really excited about how it all panned out.
Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Yes, the in real life events is definitely a crucial part of community building in Web3. You know, I feel like it popped off during COVID. People were hesitant to do events, and now it's essential to have in real life events for your own community, for all communities out there. So it's great that you're doing that amongst so many other things. But, you know, you've been in Web3, you know, like about a year or so. Tell us a little bit about your background and your journey. How did you arrive in Web3?
Yeah, so I mean, for like 4 years now, I've been an entrepreneur for as long as I can remember. Even while I was working full-time job with my engineering background, I always was doing side hustles because I always was just passionate about kind of bringing people together and making this world a more fun place. My first startup I ever did was called Fun Finders, and I was just helping people figure out fun things to do so they're less miserable, right? So the last 4 years, I was actually running the Jersey City Tech Meetup, and that's just been like where I found my sweet spot as far as like what I love to do and what I'm good at, and that's just been facilitating these awesome monthly events, bringing together founders, CEOs, really cool people that are building and innovating, and just kind of interviewing them, doing panel discussions, and having these parties. So that's a lot of what I've been doing over the past 4 years, among many other things that I'm not going to bore you with. But I would say early last year, I really stepped deep into crypto and Web3. You know, I've had my eyes on it for a few years, but I never really dove in. I made a few initial investments, figured out how to like mine Dogecoin on my MacBook, and that's when I started really getting excited. I was like, oh my god, this is super cool. And then just like actually dove into starting to collect some NFTs, and really it showed me the power of community with these awesome digital assets, like these huge collections. Everyone comes together, they all support each other because you have the same PFP, right? And that whole concept is what really sparked my interest. I was like, all right, there's all these people that have similar assets, and it's a really solid community. They're all helping each other and supporting and building things together. So that's when I started investing more, and I started doing my Jersey City Tech Meetup events focused on NFTs, because that's usually whenever I do those events, I do what I'm interested in. What I want to learn about, I just find speakers to talk about it, and then I invite everyone to come join these panel discussions, selfishly learning about what I want to be learning about. So I started these NFT events at the Jersey City Tech Meetup, and I was just talking to the community. A lot of people were coming out. There's a lot of interest, and I was getting very similar feedback from everyone. It's like, I really want to build this awesome project. I don't know how to find a smart contract developer, or like, where do you find an artist that does generative art? And just people who have really, really awesome, innovative ideas and lack the resources to bring them together. So that's kind of where things started brewing. And I kind of shifted gears and put the Jersey City Tech Meetup a little bit on the back burner. I mean, I still have it and leverage that community. But then I founded BeYu Labs, and with the whole focus of empowering entrepreneurs in Web3 and creating this epic super community network that people can come together, figure out who they want to work with and what they need to bring their product to life, and then empower them to do so, with essentially two main focuses among many other things. But the main focuses being awesome events for different types of creators. So like artist showcases, hackathons, pitch competitions, and then our job board, which we're currently working on building out now, the bounty board with the Nexus work visa, where you can essentially fill out a worker profile based on your skill set. We're building a Rolodex of resources so that when you come out and you say, I need this work, then we connect you with that person and make it all happen. All that said, we're doing this token gated through our upcoming NFT collection, Nexus Voyagers, which is super exciting. Our artist is awesome, and we're bringing all the pieces together in a really cool, unique way that's helping people learn and build in the space. Hope I didn't ramble on too much. That's a lot of words I just threw out at you.
All the time we have, folks. Sorry, guys.
I have been wasting it.
No, that's amazing, man. And that's why I wanted to have you on this show, is because I feel that your BeYu Labs, the mission of BeYu Labs, is perfectly executed in your upcoming NFT drop with the Nexus Voyager collection. So you kind of talked about it a little bit, but as a token holder, why would I want to be a token holder of the Nexus Voyagers?
Right. So the Nexus Voyagers, just a little bit on it. It's like there's a solar punk futuristic vibe to like the characters and the artwork, which is very awesome. And it's essentially the whole goal of like, hey, we're terraforming this new world of Web3, and everyone has a part and a role in this new world. So like there's the architect, and that represents an artist. There's a mechanic, and that represents a developer. And there's these different futuristic roles that tie back to your real life skill set. So essentially, by holding the NFT, you have lifetime access to all of our events, and we're going to be doing them all the time. And it's really has a focus on different skill sets. So whatever you do, there's going to be different events for you, and then also larger events that bring together everybody and kind of create this super network. So think lifetime membership and access to our events, and VIP access to the job board. So think of it like you get like a featured listing or a sponsored listing on there if you're looking for work. And that's not to say that if you're not currently building in Web3, there's no place for you in this collection. We also have a character type called the Explorer, and that's a catch-all for like collectors, people who are interested in Web3. And there's still a spot for you to come in our community where you come to the events, you learn, you hang out, and just build your network. And if you're not building something now, maybe it'll spark something for you to create in the future. So it's really just you can think of it as membership access to the dopest network in Web3.
That should be your tagline right on the Nexus Voyagers page.
True, true. That's a good point. Send me this recording. I'm gonna forget like 2 seconds.
It'll be live tomorrow for everyone to watch this.
I love
But
it.
yeah, that's one thing that I love about what you're doing is you're empowering people in the space. And based on what I know about you in the last year, you have been aggressively networking and building the community surrounding BeYu Labs in this collection to a very impressive level. You know, I mean, you just have the ability to sniff out all the shitheads, right? Like you don't, I've not met anyone through you who was like, why is Ben working with this guy or hanging with them? Like you have a very good knack for reading people, the good people out there that are going to value what you do and what you bring to this Web3 community through your empowerment.
Hey man, it's all moving so fast. There's simply no time for assholes in this space. Like it's just all moving so fast, and I'm very like I don't know. I would pride myself on having a solid intuition. So like I don't spend time with people who seem like they either have ulterior motives or are selfish. The only type of people I love working with are people like you who are just collaborative, think that we're better in numbers and we can all build and grow together, and we don't need to step on each other to get to the top. The quickest way to success is all doing it all together. So I'm always just out there just finding people who have that same spirit and authenticity that they really want to collaborate and they feel that everyone can win, because I truly believe that, and I'll always stand to that word that you don't need to step on people here in Web3. Really, if someone's even doing something very similar to what you're doing, you can find a creative way to collaborate and work together and partner. So that's always the type of people I'm looking for. So I'm very grateful to have met you, because I know you're the same way and you love lifting people up and kind of, shining a spotlight on people who are really building something special and who are just good people. So at the end of the day, the whole message here is be a good person and we could all win together.
Yes, one win, all win. Is if you're not an asshole.
If you're not an asshole,
That's
we
the
all
rule
win.
of Web3.
Now we got the whole Web3 motto. We got the Nexus Voyagers motto. We're figuring out a lot of this episode. This is special.
I should be getting paid for consulting or something. I'm just saying.
Exactly. Listeners should pay you just to hear this episode.
All good, man. No, I'm just happy to help. Like you said, we're that same kind of cuts from the same fabric, So you got the Nexus Voyagers has a free mint coming up on September 6th.
Yes. So what we're doing is we're shifting gears a little bit. I mean, we're doing this through a lot, like just talking to a lot of great people in the community through some consulting and like just really keeping our finger on the pulse of what's happening in the space. It's a bear market right now, so things are a little shaky as far as trying to drop a 10,000 piece collection, right? So what we're doing is for our pre-sale, which it's a boarding pass. And there's a boarding pass for every different type of creator. So there's like an art pass, which you can win by submitting fan art of the NFT. There's like a market pass, a dev pass. We have a pass that essentially guarantees you access to the NFT, the Nexus Voyagers NFT, and gives you the cheaper option to buy it than what would be in the public sale. So what we're doing now is instead of just saying, hey, you have a boarding pass as a whitelist role in Discord, we're actually creating a literal boarding pass NFT that we actually just had a chat with the 3D artist today. We're locking down the details. It's going to be a sick, futuristic boarding pass that anyone who claims one, which is not hard to do, you just join our Discord and just like do a few things, engage a little bit, you get yourself a boarding pass. Then on September 6th, you get to claim the free NFT. And then, shortly after that, we're going to drop the Nexus Voyagers. And anyone who holds the boarding pass free NFT, they have exclusive access to get into that pre-sale. So we're super excited about that kind of shift in gears. And we think that the free mint is going to help to build excitement around the project and to build that community prior to the actual Nexus Voyagers launch, thus mitigating a bit of the risk of launching a big collection in this market.
Yes, that's smart words. Mitigate risk. Absolutely.
Mitigate risk, increase chances of success. These are what we live by.
Hell yeah. So you hear that, everyone? Go to the Nexus Voyagers Discord, interact, get yourself a boarding pass, and be part of this amazing Web3 community, because I can tell you myself, I know the people Ben knows, a bunch of them. They're all great people willing to help, and we're all going to win together. We all going to make it, baby.
Thank you so much. We are all going to make it. And just to reiterate, it's super easy to get a boarding pass. Join the Discord, go to the How to Boarding Pass channel to learn more. But it's not like any of these communities I've been in where you have to like grind and reach like level 15 and be in there every day. It's like, no. We are making this so easy. So literally just join, do a few things, and you get a free NFT. It's worth
Oh
it.
yeah, I'm in for that. I can't wait for your NFT drop,
You're
man.
already on the list. You don't need to do shit, Joey. You've done enough. You're getting the free NFTs.
Thank you so much. It's nice to know people.
Yes, exactly.
So you also have, in addition to this NFT drop coming out, you have a regular podcast that you host with Miles Cologne, right?
Yeah, it's a Nifty Nomads podcast, and shout out to Miles. Like him and I are the only two that are full time on this whole project. So like a lot of our meetings every single day is just me and Miles just grinding, brainstorming, building value for the community. So I want to give a huge shout out to Miles, who none of this would be possible without. And I mean, we have a whole team who's awesome, but it's me and him are the full time guys on this jam. So we also host a Nifty Nomads podcast. It's been a blast, really just kind of building in public, really sharing our stories of building this collection, building this company, and our stories of what it takes and the challenges we face, and kind of just trying to share what we've gone through so people who listen can also kind of learn from it and hopefully not make the same mistakes we do. And as I talk about all these things we're building, and like I get like exhausted. Like the podcast itself can be its own business. The like NFT drop can be its own business. The job board, the events, they're all like so many different things we're doing at once. But we feel like this is kind of the way of the space. You don't just do one thing. You're kind of doing a couple other things, and then this ties into everything because it's just us getting a chance to talk through. It's almost like therapy. So we've hooked us up with some amazing guests. We just started bringing guests onto the show. We had JP from Cool Crocs. That episode just dropped yesterday. Today we're dropping the episode with Takeyoshi from K-pop basketball. So shout out to you for making those connections and just getting a chance to showcase some really amazing projects on the podcast, in addition to sharing our journey and what we've been through.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. I know when you told me you're looking for guests that have really cool projects, or it's a passion project or just something fascinating. Takeyoshi, he came to my event, Meat and Cheese, during
It was an
NFT.
awesome event. Shout out Meat and Cheese.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you for coming by. You worked across the street for years from Versa.
Yeah, I was there. Like once I got those, oh, I've been here many times. Great venue.
That's awesome. Yeah, Takeyoshi came to my event and told me about his K-pop basketball NFT project that he's dropping on August 6th. And I'm like, hey, why don't I interview you, Takeyoshi, in 2 days at my live webinar? And I was able to talk to him more in depth about the project, and it's on my YouTube channel. But then I sent him your way, and you got to interview him, and you kind of forced him on stage last night or something.
Yeah, full circle. We told him about the event. We're like, Takeyoshi, you're out here in New York City. And on the interview, he literally said himself, he's like, I'm an introvert. Like, I don't get out there very much. I don't talk about this project very much. But my goal is to just like force myself out there out of my comfort zone and share what I'm building. And I'm like, all right, well, that's what you want to do. We have an event coming up in like 3 days when we did the recording. And kudos to Takeyoshi. He came out to the event. He talked to everyone in the crowd, and then we did this part where we let everyone on stage to do pitches. And I told Takeyoshi, I'm like, yo, you're going first, bro. You said you want to do this. You have an opportunity here, and he didn't fight it. He got on stage and he crushed it. He pitched his project, and I just love to see that. Someone who came on the podcast, shared the story, said, I want to get out there more and spread the word of this. And instead of just talking about it, he showed up and did it. And that's the kind of people I love collaborating with, working with, chatting with, is people who say they're going to do shit and they go do it, even if it's uncomfortable sometimes, because growth is uncomfortable, and doing the things that are necessary isn't always in your comfort zone, but it is what's going to take you to the next level with your business and your life. So shout out Takeyoshi for getting up there on stage. I got a little video. I'm going to embarrass him and post it somewhere, but it's going to be great.
That's amazing, man. And that's kind of why we're the best fucking community, honestly. It's like, I met one guy one time, loved his project, loved what he was doing, got to interview him, and you got to interview him, and then you put him on stage. It's like when you meet someone in the space, it's not just like, oh, whatever, I don't need to help this person. You kind of do whatever you can to help people that align with their mission as well. It's like we're all very thoughtful of each other, which is fucking crazy.
Exactly.
It's like
Yeah,
the
it's
complete
beautiful.
corporate job I've had, you know, where you have to like kind of cut your opponent deep, or your coworkers deep, in order to get ahead. You know what I mean? It's not cutthroat like that in this space. You know, we're the best, man.
My favorite part of it, man. The support, the love is just like I've 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 done a lot of different entrepreneurial things. I worked full time in like IT consulting. It's like this is the first time I really found my place where I feel like this is what I love and where I belong. And I think you've expressed similar sentiment too. It's because it's like I'm meeting people who are my friends who I love hanging out with and I'm happy to support, and we're all supporting each other. Like I feel safe here. And of course, there's always going to be bad actors in any space, but like, those kind of people get weeded out very quickly. Like people don't take that shit in Web3, it's supportive, and it is the best community of all time. And I'm just happy to be part of it, man. I'm not fucking going anywhere. You know that by now. We're building through the bear market. We're not going anywhere. So if anyone's out there listening, wherever you are in the world, you'll be seeing me soon. Joey too. He ain't going anywhere. We're like cockroaches.
Exactly. You can't stop me. No one can shut me up. I can't get fired. It's just
Exactly. Who's
me
gonna
and
fire me? I'm not gonna fire myself.
exactly. Hell yeah, man. I love it. Thank you so much for doing that for Takayoshi. I'm sure he was like super nervous, but afterwards, I'm sure he was like, I'm really glad I did that, you know?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
So in addition to BeYu Labs and Nifty Nomads and the Nexus Voyagers, you're also a tech reporter for ParlayMe. What do you do?
Thank you for reminding me. Like I forget half of the things I do. But yes, shout out ParlayMe. Awesome, like PR tech news firm that covers a lot of entrepreneurs, startups, and great stuff. And they've got a Web3 arm now. They do a lot of coverage of Web3. I know January from back in the day because, hey, full circle. I mentioned earlier in this interview, my first startup was called Fun Finders. And I founded Fun Finders by actually sneaking into the VIP section of the Propelify Innovation Festival in Hoboken. Found January interviewing a bunch of people, and I went up to her and pretended I had a startup because I wanted to like get famous. So I made up Fun Finders on the spot in this interview, which maybe you could put this in the show notes. That's on YouTube. So that's where I met January. And in the middle of the interview, I told her, I was like, I actually snuck into here. Like I'm an opportunist. Like I'm making up this on the spot. And you can see it in her face. She's like, oh, like she kept her game face on, but she's like, oh shit, this guy. But we stayed in touch, and like I've expressed interest in a lot of the things she's doing, and I wanted to help support ParlayMe, and like she isn't based out of the US. So I'm like, I'm in New York City. There's a lot of Web3 events going on here. Like I'm happy to cover them on behalf of ParlayMe. So they've done awesome kind of sending me to all sorts of different events. They sent me to NFT LA, a lot like Christie's, a lot of stuff in New York City. Going to Denver, Colorado for Future Shape 360 tomorrow for the weekend. Just doing a lot of coverage of these events on behalf of ParlayMe. And it's been an absolute blast. Getting to interview all like, it's the coolest thing ever. Like I get to go to these events and have immediate access to all the speakers and anyone who I'm interested in talking to. I just show my press pass and I get to talk to them and interview them and meet the coolest people ever. So yeah, in addition to all this, I'm working with ParlayMe. Everyone check out ParlayMe. They do a lot of really cool stuff and keep you up to date on the latest and greatest in tech and startups. So
Yes.
that's a really fun piece of all of this because I get to travel and actually remember to have fun in this space, because sometimes I get grinding so deep that I'm like in it so much I forget to engage with the community. I'm like, oh wait, I gotta have fun because I'm forgetting to have fun sometimes. You grind too much. So these experiences remind me to go have fun and hang out with my friends.
Yes, definitely, man. And these conferences aren't like traditional conferences. They're just one big
Way
party.
cooler.
So many events, satellite events, and free drinks and all that.
We
It really,
expect the free drinks. That is our expectation. I want everyone to know, don't invite me and Joey to a party if you don't got the free drinks, because we're going to go around the block. We're going to pick up some shooters and we're going to make our own fun.
right. Exactly. And if your event doesn't have free drinks, there's one down the block that probably does during the event.
Exactly. The competition is fierce in this space because somehow that just became the norm. Is like in Web3, anyone who hosts events have free drinks. I love it. I gotta say, I love it.
Yeah, for
But we're
sure.
not alcoholics, everybody. Don't get the wrong idea. We just love to have a good time.
I mean, I feel like this interview, we just keep talking about partying, but
Literally, what all we talk about. We're like, we love to party. We love hanging with our friends. Free drinks only. Let's fucking go.
and some Web3 business stuff that's going to be impacted
Yeah,
on the side, right?
we're helping support people, lift them up, but also free drinks.
Yeah, baby, that's the way to do it. I mean, it's the benchmark. Yeah, that was kind of funny. NFT.NYC this year, we are the day zero heroes. We didn't get to tell people about that, but basically, I flew in on Sunday, a day before NFT.NYC actually kicked off, but there was still a ton of events that day. And you picked me up from the airport from Newark.
We
And then
both weren't mentally ready yet to start it, but we lifted each other up and we mustered up our energy to get the show on the road.
yes. So thanks again for picking me up from the airport. And then you took me to your favorite Mexican place in Jersey City.
Taqueria.
Yeah, and then we got to go to NFT VIP, which was cool, but they didn't have free drinks. So with the three, you, me, and Sissa, we kind of were like, we have to go get some booze. And you kind of knew exactly where to go and how it was going to go down. And we were drinking all afternoon right by that pool, watching some amazing speakers in NFT VIP. You were the only one in the pool for a while there.
I was so disappointed in myself for not bringing my bathing suit. So I just lifted my jeans up and just put my feet in at least. But I was like, I should have my bathing suit. This is not like me. This is not a Ben thing to not bring a bathing suit. But in true DGen fashion, like day zero, Sunday, we immediately got sketchy. Like, we couldn't just accept like, oh, no free drinks in this place. We sat there for a few minutes. We're like, we got to spice things up a bit. We went out there, we smoked a bowl. We went down the street to the liquor store, picked up shooters. Not only did we just drink them there, we brought them back. Sorry, NFT VIP, if you're listening to this. We brought them back. We got some free club sodas, and then we made our own little cocktails, and we turned that baby up and had a blast with it. And it felt right. I felt at home. I'm like, this is like my high school days. Getting sketchy as if I'm not even 21 or allowed to be here. It felt so good. That was a great day zero, buddy. Oh, and then we went and saw Scott Page perform at Webster Hall in his little intimate experience. That was beautiful. What a great day zero.
Oh man, it was epic. Yeah, that private concert at Webster Hall where it was just Scott Page from Pink Floyd, doing an intimate concert for like 35 people. And we were there standing right in front of him, hearing him play saxophone was one of the coolest experiences all week. Definitely.
Seriously, it was so cool.
Yeah.
And we were perfectly juiced up from our free drink session.
Hell yeah, man. That was such a great epic day. We started off being hungover as shit and tired and ended up partying till midnight, right?
It was amazing. And the next day we took the ferry right into the city. We did it. We brought a boat. I mean, the car didn't start on Monday. Remember that?
I remember,
We
yes.
thought we were going to drive over to the ferry station to head into the city, and the car died. I think we left the lights on the night before. But luckily, out here in Jersey City, Big Ed came through for us right across the street. Big Ed just got back from a trip in Pittsburgh, and he jumped the car for us, and we were off to the races, hopped on a boat, and the rest was history. Then the week was on from there.
Yes, man. And your event that you threw that on, what was it, Wednesday night? Yes,
Yeah.
It was Soho Technique AR gallery crawl. You were one of the 6 locations, right?
Yeah, that was the best, like the best event I've ever been a part of. Like, I guess that was like a huge highlight of my life. Like from out in NFT LA, when I met Scott Page and like that group of people, I talked to them about collaborating for NFT NYC. One thing led to another. Like, it almost didn't happen a million times. We had like investors that were going to help get us access to the space. They pulled out. So many things happened that like I could have just been like, all right, it's not meant to be. But in my true ambitious fashion, I was like, fuck no. This is an opportunity to collaborate with the Scott Page, and I'm making this happen no matter what. So we made it happen. And not only Scott, but like We Dream, Soho Technique, everyone who's part of this experience, it was just like an augmented reality crawl, and everyone took over space. Everyone was so awesome to work with. And that's like long-term partnerships that are going to just be ongoing from just having that experience together. And we basically did an artist showcase at 53 Worcester Street. That spot will always have a place near and dear in my heart. My parents came through, a bunch of my friends from home, and a bunch of amazing artists. We showcased 12 artists doing really cool stuff in the space. We had the Nexus Voyagers branding and characters all over the place. It was the first time our NFT collection was brought to life. Cynthia from CL22 Productions, their production team did such an awesome job bringing our vision to life. And it was just so special. And from that, like, I'm still having calls from partners who like, they don't even get on a call to me and like vet me in the project. Just from them coming to the event, they're just like, all right, I saw what you do. Let's talk about next steps. I was like, all right, this is huge and profound in so many ways. And we got so many things coming from that. So it was like, it still gives me goosebumps. It was like one of the biggest accomplishments of my life. And I'm just so proud of the team and everyone who made it all happen. And I really appreciate you coming out. It's always great to have you there. It makes me more comfortable when the people I love and my friends are all there in the space. I'm like, all right, this is all good.
Hell yeah, man. I'm proud of you. You did a
Thank
killer
you.
job. Space looked awesome. You were able to buy NFTs, display it on the wall. I mean, you guys had Nexus Voyagers images. It was just a really cool experience. And of course, your space was one of them that had a bar in it with free drinks. So
Free drinks, baby. I mean, we did free drinks and everyone came through hanging out. It was so cool. And we had like some of these artists we showcased. They're from all around the world. Like Harvey, he came from Scotland. It was his first time ever in America. And he's one of the artists we featured. He came out and we got to talk and chat about his experience and like his first time, not only in New York City, but literally in America. And his art was showcased right there. And you could see it meant so much to him. So just getting to chat with these really cool creatives from all over, like, it's like you don't get to do that in Web 2. Like, I don't know, like you don't get experience, or I haven't gotten experiences like that ever in my life. And I feel like this is like what I've always wanted out of life, and it's all happening. So I'm excited and I'm happy that we're making this happen. And we got some stuff brewing up. I don't know if we're teasing it yet, but we got some things we're talking about, and that's going to be amazing too. And I'm excited.
hell yeah, man. I'm so looking forward to collaborating with you on a number of different things. We're definitely talking about doing some in real life events coming up next year for sure. We'll have a couple that I think are going to be so unique that even Web 2 individuals, they're going to want to come just because it's a cool ass event with such a unique value proposition to just have fun and party with Joey and Ben and Miles, so
Who doesn't
that
want that?
alone is
That
exciting.
alone is utility.
Hell yeah, man. So the future is bright for us, man. And
100%.
follow Ben, everyone. Follow him on LinkedIn. Get in the Discord for Nexus Voyagers. Be a part of our community with his project and come support our events. You know what I mean? Like, we're all going to make it here, guys. And I know I'm an open book, fully doxed, you know what I mean? So like, if anyone ever has questions, they can always reach out to me as well. I'm not that famous, so it's all good. I got time for everyone.
Same. Well, Joey, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for making this show and just being such an awesome person in Web3 that lifts people up and supports, because that's what it's all about. So it's people like you who are shaping the future of the space. I appreciate you. Grateful to call you my friend. And yeah, until next time, looking forward to our collabs, man. Let's do it. Let's fucking go.
Hell yeah, and let's fucking go. And thank you again, Ben, for your time. I do appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy, so I'll let you go, and I look forward to seeing you soon, man.
Always got time for you, Joey.
All right, take care, man. Thanks again.
Peace.